Hey everyone, welcome to On the Beat. I'm David Wilson, as always, joined by Stephen Bailey and Trevor Haas. Stephen and Trevor will be in the Carrier Dome this Saturday as Syracuse takes on Pittsburgh, looking for bowl eligibility. I think this is the one, if they're going to win one of these last two, this is the better chance to do it. I think Boston College is a better team than we expected. Pittsburgh banged up. If they're going to reach a bowl game, I think it comes this weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely a better chance. I don't think it's out of the question that they beat Boston College at home. But Pittsburgh's definitely the better chance. You look at the Syracuse offense, and it obviously sputtered against Florida State, but I think the running game will reestablish itself, and maybe Terrell Hunt will even throw for a touchdown. He hasn't since the Tulane game 2 full months ago. But I think that the offense will be able to do enough, and I think that the Syracuse front seven will be able to get to Tom Savage and hopefully protect a very banged-up secondary.
David, it's interesting because a few months ago, way back in the day when you and I went to ACC Media Day, there wasn't really a vibe around Boston College. Like, no one thought they would be good. They thought they would be toward the bottom of the pack, but they're pretty good. Yeah, I think they're the favorite heading into that game with Syracuse.
Yeah, it helps to have maybe the best running back in the country. This weekend also, a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. It's sort of had to change some of the things Pittsburgh does. Devin Street, questionable. Some of the guys on the offensive line have been banged up. Lost a starting safety. Syracuse, though, tons of injuries as well. Joe Nassib could be pressed into some action with Julian Wiggum's injury. It really changes the complexion of this game, and I think in the end it'll help Syracuse because I think they're the slightly less banged up team than Pittsburgh, but they have to change some things too.
Yeah, well, if Devin Street doesn't play, that's
exactly
the biggest injury of the game. Yeah, I think Syracuse is favored in that regard. I mean, the players that are injured or would be missing, they'd be missing Julian Wiggum. They might be missing Brisley Esteem. He listed himself as 50-50 with a broken hand. That would be a bad loss, but I think not as big a Street. He might be their best offensive player. So Syracuse has the edge there.
It's interesting today at Schaefer's press conference, we heard about this, that it's just kind of like he's not really thinking about the fact that Wiggum's out. It's just kind of next guy steps up mentality. What do you guys think about that? If you were a coach, would you kind of rally the troops around that or just kind of forget about it? Or?
I think it just naturally happens.
Yeah.
You see an injury like that, and talked about John Raymond went down earlier in the year, and the defensive line kind of rallied around that. And I think the secondary naturally is sort of going about that same attitude right now.
Yeah, I don't think the secondary needs any more motivation to get better.
That's true. Let's get some over-unders real quick. Over-under half a touchdown for Terrell Hunt.
Passing touchdowns?
Yes, passing touchdowns.
I'm going to go under, but he'll run for one.
Wow. I'm going to go over.
Over, I think he's due. Over-under 75 yards for Jerome Smith. He had 5 against Florida State.
I'll go over. I think they're going to push the running game.
I think over. He'll have a monster game. Probably 125 plus.
Yeah, I think over. I think he gets around the 100-yard range. And over-under 275 passing yards for Pittsburgh against that banged-up Syracuse secondary.
I think it's close, but I'll go just under. I mean, that's around what they're going to do. They're going to throw the ball, but I think Syracuse will be able to pressure Savage.
I really think it's substantially under. I know they don't run the ball much, but I see it around 200, maybe a little less.
I think they get close to 300, maybe top it. They throw the ball a lot, and Tom Savage is a good quarterback. Last but not least, let's get our predictions.
I have Syracuse 23, Pittsburgh 14. Syracuse makes a bowl, which is definitely better than we expected at the start of the season.
I have Syracuse 17, Pittsburgh 10. I think it'll be close, but I think Syracuse is a little better, and they're going bowling.
Yeah, 24-20. I think Syracuse wins and does better than I predicted.
I predicted 6-6.
You did. Good job.
I apologize.
Thanks again for joining us on the Beat. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @DOSports and check dailyorange.com/sports all weekend long and all through Thanksgiving break.